Alright, yo, what's going on, boys? Asian Sensation back with another video. Just want a quick intro what you guys are going to be seeing in this game as the game kind of starts in the background. But essentially, we're doing a King of the Hill series. King of the Hill is basically a competitive Discord where you can play players and try to rise to the top of the rankings and just play better and better opponents as higher up you get, you know? So this is a pretty top-tier opponent we're playing. His name is Pain, also Nagato. A Naruto reference if you're uncultured, but yeah, we're doing best of 3. Starting map is randomly generated and we have Ghostly Coast, and then after that the loser of the previous map gets to decide the next map, and then you kind of go from there. So we start off with Ghostly Coast. I went Boat Boomer. This is what I believe is the meta on this map. I do want to also specify that there's no Cobra or NG available in King of the Hill, so we aren't going to be using either of those. But this is a Squire match, so we're moving up in the rankings. I think we're top 20 now overall, having only joined a couple weeks ago or so. So we're getting up there. I think my overall record is 16 series wins, 6 series losses. So we're doing pretty well. And so yeah, we're playing Pain. We're both starting off with a boat, obviously. I mean, Buccaneer's just undoubtedly the best tower in the game on water maps. I swear to God, dude, it's so good. So we're starting off with Buccaneer. Probably the most cost-efficient tower in the game, other than potentially Tack Shooter on some maps. And yeah, so we are playing Pain, and it's round 6 we're going into. I'm going to go for my farm right here, and he's actually going to balloon boost greens at me. So honestly, I think the best play is to boost right here. So we're going to see if that's actually, yeah, that is what I end up opting to do. And I also get the faster shooting to minimize leaks here. And then we're just going to micro the targeting from like first and last. But right now I'm post-commentating, if you guys haven't realized that. Just because of I wasn't really able to live comment, and I thought it was a noteworthy kind of series to post commentate. And I honestly think post commentating is more educational as well as more insightful. So I personally think you can analyze your gameplay better, whereas if it's live, you're not going to really be able to reflect back on things immediately as effectively. So this is good. So I'm potentially going to place my boomer right here just to get up to a 2-0 on last to kind of help against group yellows. But you can see he doesn't send us yellows yet, so now would be a decent time to go for my farm. However, I've already burnt 1 boost. I don't want to be down to 1 boost. I really don't. So you can see it's round 8. He's sending a ton of yellows. We have all our 2 grape shots on close to maximize popping power, and we're just going to tank the leaks. Now, I personally prefer to use 2 spikes as opposed to boosting, as I think anyone else would. However, we did leak quite a bit of lives. So we have a nice out farm. However, he's playing a lot more aggressive, which is what you should do with Boat Boomer. Aggression is key, and that's something I kind of lack this game so far, is just lack of aggressive rushes. Like round 11 is also a great aggression round, and you can see I'm playing the passive defensive side of things by just getting up defense. And he just sent a ton of, that was straight eco balloons, bro. White balloons are straight eco balloons if they're grouped. And it was a really effective rush, forced a bionic, and it's just really giving him nice eco boost on us. So I'm trying to force defense right here. And you can see he doesn't even have a bionic yet, so he could catch up in farms a lot easier if I don't rush him. And obviously I'm going to realize that, so we're saving up for a rush right now. I'm waiting for him to upgrade his farm before I rush. So I'm going to go for a kind of a little rush here to force a bionic. I could have just sent straight white balloons, I think. I don't think I really needed to send zebras, but hey, it's whatever. So at this point, he's going to slowly catch up in farms. Honestly, not slow. He's going to quickly catch up in farms due to his massive eco lead. I don't know what it is specifically, but he's obviously got a very, very healthy eco since the farm lead is just dwindling at this point. So I'm trying to force a turbo, and at this point, I sent a really dumb and tiny rush there. But we do get a boost out of him. So in the end, not a bad rush whatsoever. Can't complain about burning or causing a boost. So now I actually sell my cannon ship to get up a turbo. And that's basically just to save me money from selling a farm. And instead I can just rebuy a cannon ship and not actually lose out on a few of those bananas from that farm. So that's that. So now, round 17, we have 500 eco. Not too bad, but he's probably at around 700-ish eco, if I had to guess. So we're getting massively outplayed at this point. It's not looking good for us. He's probably going to send us a Moab or something to drain a boost, but
I'm going to rush here round 18, blend with the AI rainbows, something you always want to do. He's going to balloon boost something at us. I'm just going to immediately tower boost. Just because I saw the balloon boost, I kind of got panicky. And now I'm going for a really dumb rush at this point, sending a ton of zebras. Now I finally switch over to whites, which is much more cost efficient. And we do force the turbo, and it looked like he was going to leak quite a bit, but he's fine in the end. And you can see our farms are basically gone. So GG's. But we're getting out farmed and we're getting out ecoed. But I would say we have tightened the gap in eco. No doubt about that. It's just to a point where our farms can't back up our gameplay. We don't have any safety in our farms to defend rushes or anything like that. So at this point, I'm kind of realizing that, and I should just, I'm going to rush, or I shouldn't even rush him at this point. I should just farm and bide my time and just kind of play this out. And hopefully he makes some sort of misplay and we get back into the game. But right now, we're not looking too hot. He's sending us a big Moab rush. I was extremely shocked to see this. He just had like 5 fast cooldown Moabs out of nowhere. Sure, I'm obviously going to boost that, but he just sent like a $7,500 rush. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I actually have a chance now, because he just destroyed his eco by doing that. We now have the eco lead. And I look at that. I baited the all out here, right here. And that was intentional because I thought I could defend it. So I was going to go ahead and do this. You can see I sent him a Moab as well. I'm just going to let the gameplay speak for itself. And it's super, 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 super close so far. And he actually defended that and won. So well played on Payne's part, no doubt about that. That's something I need to really improve upon is my aggressive boat boomer gameplay. And he kind of was a prime example of how you should do that, and I was the prime example of why you shouldn't try to greed with the boat boomer. You should be aggressive. It will benefit you, no doubt, as long as you don't make any dumb mistakes. So. All right, so I just tossed him code, and now we are going into game number 2. Should be good. So game number 2, I haven't really decided what map I want to pick for my losing map yet. So I'm just kind of just mixing through them. At this point, I'm like, okay, he's a really good boat player, so I'm not going to really pick a boat map. That wouldn't be very wise. I think he's going to outplay us on boat maps based off that first game. So unless I pick a boat mortar map, I think that won't be the play. So I pick a moon landing, very tack heavy map. And I think this kind of works well with my play style. I'm more micro reliant and I'm more of a micro reliant player as opposed to a calculated kind of rusher. So tack is by far the best tower on this map. No question in my mind whatsoever about that. All you need is a 2-3 blade shooter to defend every single rush up until round 10 if you have a good tack spot, which the tack placement I'm using currently, fantastic. Uses every single one of the tacks. It's just so good. So I kind of misplayed at the beginning here. I sent a 259, and now I'm going to go for my farm, but he went for his farm first. Sure, he might get an extra banana, but we have, we're going to leak less here, so actually, never mind. I don't even know how this game started out. I'm gonna be real with you, but either way, not a big matter. So now we're kind of just farming on. We both, honestly, a 2-2 or a 2-0 tack can defend round 4 pinks for a majority of the game, or for a majority of the round. You'll leak slightly, kind of a few leaks here and there, but it's worth it to greed for your plantation, in my opinion. Unless you're playing an extremely aggressive player who's setting group blues followed by balloon boosted pinks or something like that. Obviously, then it's situation dependent, I suppose. But we both go for our plantation. I think going to 264 eco is the magic number there. So now I only had a 2-0 tack that whole time. He sent me a few sets of pinks, and you can see just the second tier blade or tack shooter exceptional on this map, which just leads you to believe that the blade shooter is going to be really good, which is true. So now we're just farming. Normally this is an aggressive tack map, right? Normally you're going to want to play aggressive with your tack shooters. Since you can greed so heavily with tack shooter, you can afford to be aggressive against other loadouts. However, in tack versus tack, there's no really point in being aggressive because you can greed so heavily with this. And if you both have tack, you might as well go to round 20 plus. You're going to go to round 20 plus. And you're going to be able to get a BIA as well if you want. So honestly, in tack versus tack, passive is the play 90% of the time. And tack versus tack's a whole different game than tack versus, say, DFA or dartling. Because in that situation, you're going to be playing like 600 eco round 13, whereas this is like 275 or like 300 eco round 13. So completely different game, obviously. And so Payne, my opponent on the right, is actually right neck and neck with us in farms, and eco, same thing. We're basically mirroring each other's gameplay thus far, and that's to be expected. I mean, when all you need is one tack shooter for 10 rounds, the only other thing you're gonna do is just farm. So that's pretty self-explanatory in itself. So now I'm just farming on 3 plantations round 9. That's really freaking good, especially with the fact that we're not even letting the balloons get halfway through the map. We're shredding the AI fairly quickly. So now it's round 10. We just need a whiz for we literally have the cheapest possible lead popping power in the game, a 0-0 whiz. That's facts. So you're going to even be able to greed even more. Now, the only time where you're going to really need defense is round 12. The first 11 rounds, all you need is really a blade shooter and a 0-0 whiz, unless they go for a huge round 11 rush, which is highly unlikely. Because round 12, you're going to need a 0-3 whiz to defend camos. So you can see he's sending just a few camos. I sent up a smallish camo rush as well, just to force the Dragon's Breath. Now at this point, a round 13 rush, I could go for a small rush. I really could. But all that's going to do is create him to get up a blade shooter or create him to get up another like lightning, and he'll be fine. The sizing of my rush would have to be so big to really cause any havoc on his side that it's not worth it, because I can just go for a BIA at the end of this round anyways. So he actually upgraded to his plantation, so he's going to go for a 2-4 BIA. So I'm going to do the same. So he went for his right here. I'm going to do the same, but it's going to be super close for me affording this. I have Turtle Micro right there, by the way, but we afford it perfectly. So we both have a 2-4 BIA, which is going to fill up really, really, really quickly. But before you even know it, because these rounds are super quick at this point. Round 15, round 16, really quick rounds. Round 17, fairly short as well. So the BIA is going to build interest based on rounds, not opposed to time. So the rounds are just going to be giving that thing some money. So I went for a little rush on round 16 to potentially force a boost. I thought I could. Regen Lens are great, absolutely great rush against this loadout, especially if they don't have the lightning on their whiz. So that's why I went for that. And we get a little eco out of that as well. So really the only problematic round that's upcoming is round 20. Because round 18, if he wants to send me a Moab, 1 Maelstrom, it's over. And I have all 3 spikes. Like, it'd be the dumbest rush of all time. Never rush Maelstrom, dude, with the Moab. It's the dumbest thing and most common mistake I see in tack players. Or playing against tack players. So I should go for a rush right here. Yep. So AI Rainbows are coming out, so we're going to blend a rush, potentially force some defense, as well as get some eco. Those were all eco balloons, by the way. And we force a blade shooter, so fine with me. Now, I shouldn't even go for a farm here. I really shouldn't. I shouldn't have gone for that farm, because round 20, like I said, that's when the chaos begins. That's when we see the micro. That's when we see all the pieces fall together and the micro-reliant loadouts become relevant, right? This is where we see the mechanics side of the game, as opposed to the knowledge and when to upgrade this, that. It's basically the fun part, in my opinion. So my BIA, what I get at round 15, I'm going to cash it out here. Basically a full cash out. And I could go for the valuable bananas, or I could send a BFB. I opt to go for the valuable bananas. And now look how much money I have left. Look at my money, dude. It's terrible. How am I going to defend this BFB while sending a BFB without cashing out my BIA, or selling a farm, or selling the BIA? So I triple spike, get up some blade shooters, boost. And the last thing I want to do is sell my BIA or sell my facility. So we just do some really, really good money management to defend this. Burn a boost to save money. And we defend that without having to sell a BIA, without having to sell a factory. Win-win situation. Sure, you forced a boost, but chances are you're not going to use all 3 boosts with WizTac anyways. So our rush was pretty effective. We baited a boost as well. And he does the same thing. Very well played on Nagato/Payne's part. Defending that without selling farms as well. Exceptionally done. Not many people would think to do that. So now okay, this is a key note. Key takeaway. I sell my BIA. I sell it. We just cash it out, so it's not going to have a lot of interest kind of potential at this point early on. So I think it's worth it to do this. This way I can now play somewhat aggressive. Sure, I have 800 eco. I can't just throw that in the trash by sending him like a oh my god. But one thing we can do is get up 3 facilities and then be the aggressor. And then start the drain game mid-round 20s. Because oh my gods are so expensive to defend. So expensive to defend that. He's going to have to be selling farms left and right. Whereas we're going to have 3 facilities and still be able to continue the aggression. Sure, my eco is going to be depleted, but round 24, extremely quick round, which means you're going to get so much cash inflow so quickly from your 3 facilities that eco is not going to really be as valuable, right? So at this point, he still has his BIA. He's playing the defensive side of things. I am starting to transition into the aggressor at this point in time. So 3 facilities. At this point, what's going on in my head is I want to send him as oh my god, but I don't want to kill my eco yet. So that's why I waited until I got a 3rd facility before I destroyed my eco. Now at this point, round 24 is coming up, right? Very, very, very quick round. I could go for camo ceramics as well to catch him off guard. Because if I made a boost here, it'd be all out time. So I go for a sneaky camo ceramic rush. Shout out to No Monies on this rush. He actually does it on round 22 sometimes, but you can see it's a pretty effective rush. Force a lot of defense, Maelstrom leaks, and a boost. Awesome. So we get the boost. He's down to 1 boost. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, I'm sending you a huge rush. I'm sending you a oh my god. Have fun. So I have no eco at this point, right? But we're tied in farms, and he goes for the immediate counter. So now I'm like, oh, it's micro time, baby. So he goes for what? 2 or 3 oh my gods? 2 oh my gods? Chances I defend those with my 2 farms? I mean, I could, but his oh my god is so farther along screen that I think it's better for me to all out. Now I sent a lot of BFBs here, and I'm saving money. Now at this point, I should sell those Phoenixes and get up Tempests, because the Phoenixes are going to pop the oh my gods into BFBs, and obviously BFBs are faster than oh my gods, so they're going to end the screen, get to the end of the screen a lot quicker. So I still have a facility in that top right, by the way. I'm all outing. He's defending my rushes right now, bro. I was mind blown that he is just vibing over there. So now I'm like, okay, we have to full send. No chance we can defend this with the money we have. We're all outing. So I'm sending him BFBs because oh my gods are just too slow, man. Maybe could have sent him 1 oh my god in that jumble of things. Definitely should have, but you can see I have no oh my god popping power, really. And now I just have to defend these Moabs, right? And then hope he dies before those oh my gods clear screen. So I go, look at the screen, dude. This is chaotic. He has 1 billion Moabs, and he's out of boost at this point. He's out of boost, so he has to Maelstrom like crazy to defend this. And Pain actually goes down, and we tie the series up. I'll see you guys for game 3. All right, let's get it. Game 3, our opponent is choosing Waddle Resorts. Very typically a DFA map. So I'm like, all right, I guess we're going to go DFA versus DFA. That's fine with me. Let's try our best not to get clapped, all right? That's what I'm thinking at this point in time. And all of a sudden, he starts off with a Buccaneer. I was like, what the heck, bruh? I didn't think people actually went boat on this map, if I'm gonna be honest. I knew people would go boat boomer, but I didn't think it was that commonly used. So, obviously, boat boomer cannot go late game, right? Especially on this map when there's only like 5 to 6 boat spots. However, it can drain DFA if he plays extremely aggressive. If he plays aggressive and prevents me from getting a BIA, he is big chillin', right? So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I just have to farm like a madman, defend all his rushes while having good money management, and we'll be good. Much easier said than done. Much easier said than done. So after playing game 1 against Pain, I'm like, okay, dude, this dude's a boat boomer god. And I guess I didn't put it together that he would probably go boat boomer on this map. Or boat mortar in that aspect. Or he could have boat mortar as well. Definitely a possibility, but I didn't really expect him to boat mortar because there's so little boat spots that boat mortar won't really be good. Because boat mortar can be more of a passive strat, honestly. Whereas boat boomer is all about aggro. So that's why I just assumed he was going boat boomer. I think it made the most sense, so that's what I was just expecting at this point. So I kind of tailored my gameplay to that. So we've only leaked 29 lives so far. I'm kind of vibing, and I don't even have 2 trip darts. That shows you how good that trip dart spot truly is. It's so freaking good. So it's round 6 coming around. I'm going to go for my farm here, actually. A little greedy because I don't even have 2 trip darts, but he's going to balloon boost here as well. So now I'm kind of scared. I'm like, oh boy. Here we go. So I'm going to put that trip dart on close up top to kind of max its popping power to best of my abilities. And we handle it pretty well. You know, it was a pretty chunky green rush, but we don't even need more than 2 1/3 trip darts to defend that. So very nice. Sure, I'm starting to leak quite a bit now, but that's kind of the risk I'm willing to take to farm well. So if I can get 2 plantations round 8, that's not a bad spot to be in. But right now I'm just kind of greeding. I should have just went straight for a Spolt. So I was going to need it round 8 anyway. So here comes the aggressive round 8. I hesitated to get it up just to see if he was just going to go for a small yellow rush. But obviously a boat boomer player that's going to be aggressive is going to force the Spolt regardless. They're not going to let you greed, man. That's their whole strat relies on drain game. Preventing the dart player from placing farms. Preventing the BIA. If he does that, he can just send basically Moabs round 18 plus. Enforcing the fan club and me having no farms pretty much, right? So he has 2 plantations. I can't really do too much against him. I've only gotten 28 eco this far. I'm going to send a lead just to force his lead detection. Very standard play. And there is the Boomador as expected. So now we only have 2 plantations. Only 32 eco gained so far. And a round 11 rush is pretty much inevitable against Boat Boomer. So I'm going to have to get up a Spolt for that as well. But first I go for my farm, because I do have a little bit of money saved up. And we should be fine against that. He's trying to do some layering. I'm just going to micro my jug onto first to actually kind of aid our trip darts a little bit. And now we're about to get up our 3rd plantation. So we're right in this. He's likely going to go for a round 13 rush. Yep, there's the balloon boost. So I go for 3 trip darts, 2 Spolts, and a jug. Pretty expensive. Just going to change my targeting of my jug to first and last. But his rush is so lengthy that it forces a boost. Because if he would have ended his rush a second or 2 earlier, we would have been fine. But the fact that I had to micro my jug on a first in the first place, it just did not go well for us. So he forced a boost. He used his balloon boost, so I wasn't really expecting a big another rush, or another big rush. But at this point, I'm just trying to force the cannon ship. He went for 2 cannon ships. I think accidentally, yeah. Okay. So he's chilling. I mean, his farms are almost as good as ours, and he has so much eco. That's the power of Boat Boomer early on this map. Buccaneer is by far the best early game tower on this map. Dart's not that far behind, though. Dart is really good on this map. The trip dart spots are solid early game. So I'm actually going to burn all my spikes since I only have 15 lives. And in addition to that, so I actually go for a rush. Okay, yeah, let's check out this rush. Honestly, not a bad rush. Forces the bio and a turbo. Space rainbows. That shows you how much he was under defending. So, but as I was saying, our spikes at the bottom of the screen will get hit by a Moab, but not by balloons that go on the first path. So a Moab on the first path will get hit by those spikes. So I was feeling pretty good about Moabs, the first few Moabs at least, because I still have 2 boosts. It's not like we're getting drained quite yet. So I have 6 trip darts, I think. I'm expecting a Moab. Now, the spikes are going to hit that, and that's pretty damaged. We could ODS this, but you can see I butchered my placement, so I couldn't do it. I think we would have been fine with an ODS with some decent ODS micro. We would have been fine, but I butchered the placement, so we had rely on boost instead. Not ideal. I still can't freaking place this, and I'm getting pissed off. At this point, I'm just raging. But now we just have to fan club. I'm not selling any farms. We need our farms if we want to win this game. And look at his farms, man. Sure, he has a crazy high eco, but if I were to all out him round 22, things might get interesting. But round 20, all you can just send is fast cooldown Moabs, and turbo just destroy fast cooldown Moabs. So it's not really worth it, especially when he has like, say, 8,500 in farms there. So he's rushing me. There's another Moab. Now we're out of tower boosts. We are out of tower boost. I have to micro my jugs on the first. I actually sell that farm to play safe here and get a second jug because I wasn't too sure if we were going to defend that. And here comes another Moab. I go for the ODS play. We're going to try some ODS micro right here. So we're going to try to keep it on the top half. We do indeed do that, but it's still not enough. We didn't have enough trip darts in the first place. And we're forced to fan club. And my farms are terrible. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, we lost. Like, I don't know what we can do here to win this game. Like, look at this, dude. It's so bad. We're tied in farms, and he has, like, triple our eco at this point. What can I possibly do? I guess the only thing that we could do is an all-out round 22. Other than that, I don't think really can do much. But now I'm trying to defend without fan clubbing. But, again, same situation as last time. I'm going to have to fan club. Didn't have enough lives to leak. So now I all out. I'm all outing 22. Round 22, look at his farms, bro. I'm like, he does not have enough to defend an all out. So I'm going to all out him here. He's going to counter rush me here with some BFBs. So I cannot pop these BFBs. I cannot. And Pain actually goes down and we win. GG's, boys. Won the series, a close one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a like below. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next one. Peace.